Hello, I'm Nari McDiarmid, and today I'm speaking with Dr. Jason Berton, the Managing Director of US-focused explorer PolarX. Now, Mining Journal's spotlight is on PolarX today, not because of the scoping study they've just released for their copper-gold project in Alaska, but focusing on their gold project in Nevada, where there's been some pretty interesting results, especially some back in May. Jason, can you please remind us of how significant those results were for PolarX?
Yeah, certainly. So the hole 5, we had 9.1 metres intersect, 124.36 grams per tonne of gold and 48.66 grams per tonne of silver. It was a 10-hole RC project, and 9 of the holes were drilled in the westerly direction, and the one hole that we drilled back to the east managed to intercept vein sets with very encouraging grades. And in between all of those vein sets, we had a Carlin trend, so a low-grade sort of bulk mining potential coinciding with high-grade vein system.
Well, can you outline what you'd like to follow up there with drilling in November?
Yeah, certainly. I've actually made a fly-through video that I can take you through. It's easiest to get this sort of thing out in visual form, I find, and just talk to the video. So I'm just going to initiate that. I'm zooming into Star Canyon. I'm just pausing now at the 6-second mark. So from the surface, you can see where I've gone out there and mapped this vein trend. This trend from the surface goes about 550 metres and in north-south strike, and its east-west extent is about 300 plus metres wide. So on the video, I'll just play it again and then get a bit closer before I've got these blue polygons outlining where the veins are outcropping on surface. And up in the north, it's about there's about 8 vein sets that you can see, and I'm pretty sure they strike to the south, and they're just under a bit of cover at the moment. Then when you see in the south, you're seeing this main corridor of light blue and what are the dark blue veins tracking along the surface. Now, as I continue with the video, you'll see it go underneath the subsurface. So what you can see here, this is hole 5, dipping back to the east. It intersects up near the top of the hole, the light blue polygon showing the veins, and then there's a dark blue polygon showing the lower vein. Up in the top is where we had the 9.1 metre intercept from about 27 metres down hole. And as we go for about another 40 metres, then we hit into the second vein set. Now, what I am trying to show with this image here is how the vast majority of the holes, all the other holes, are dipping away from the vein. So you're really drilling down dip. You're not able to cross the profile. And it leaves this corridor in the middle wide open. So that's what I really want to follow up on is what have we missed in that first program? So if I click play again. Okay, so I've paused it again to see this sort of an oblique view to the northwest. And in the distance, I've got multicolours for other vein sets that have been mapped at the surface there. And there's been 1 or 2 that have actually been glanced by a couple of drill holes. And as that happens, the grade spikes. So I would like to get in there, as I said, drill everything back to the east and then test that vein system. So the key here is testing the veins rather than focusing on the broad anomaly that we did back in May. We're following the structures now that we know whole mineralisation. There's also a couple of areas here where there was some old workings, and drilling underneath those old workings is something that I'm trying to do next. I can see from the surface waste piles that they haven't really gone in that far, so I don't expect to encounter any voids or cavities. I'll just drill a little bit deeper underneath those. To the south, there's a bit of cover rock, a younger unit, and I suspect that the vein hosting unit continues underneath there. So where it terminates on surface, I don't think it does beneath the surface, and likewise to the north as well. So we need to get in there, drill that, and hopefully we unveil a high-grade system through the veins linked with the Carlin-type low-grade in between. So they really don't mine any waste. Basically, everything you mine is something you can put on a leach pad.
Jason, you've mentioned the two different styles of mineralisation, which is exciting, the high grade and the lower grade Carlin-style mineralisation. Looking a bit more broadly at the project and its surroundings, you're not far from the 5 million ounce Florida Canyon mine. How does that compare with the ground that you guys hold?
Yeah, so both Florida Canyon and Rochester open pit heap leach style bulk mine operations. That it's not really something the Australian market is familiar with, but it's quite typical in Nevada. So you get these low grade heap leach situation, bulk tonnage, as I mentioned. At Florida Canyon and Rochester, they both have a lower cutoff grade of 0.1 grams per tonne. So it really does open the opportunity for us to consider what is potentially economic. Now, with this drilling program, I'm ambitious to think that I can get an inferred resource around this early stage. It's certainly not going to be an exhaustive resource. I'm expecting the system to be open in all directions still, but I want to start quantifying it and reach milestones as soon as possible so that people in the marketplace can start to understand the bigger picture and how this can tie into a future mining operation.
Well, Jason, thank you very much for the update today.
Thank you very much.